So tell us this, because you've lived through this. So you have been indicted and arraigned. What will it look like next week, which is the timing we hear is happening? What will it be like?
And you went to prison.
You went to prison.
Twice.
But what will it be like next week for former President Trump?
You know, he's right now trying to play the tough guy. Oh, I'm going to, make a spectacle out of this. First of all, the grifter in chief is going to try to do exactly what he's been doing, and that's to fundraise off of it. I think he made over $2 million. Who these dummies are that are giving their hard-earned dollars for a guy who gets indicted, I'm not sure. I didn't see anybody throwing that kind of money when I ended up getting indicted. It makes no sense to me at all. However, we do have to acknowledge that he is a former president, and there is a certain amount, despite whether you think he should or should not receive that benefit. He is a former president of the United States, and there's a certain way that we should handle this. First of all, there's a whole slew of issues. Yeah, he still has Secret Service protection. Putting handcuffs on somebody who's in the custody and care of Secret Service is not simple.
So it's going to be different than your experience.
Let's just say much different.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be handcuffed. According to sources, they said he's going to have an expedited arraignment, right, because of the unusual circumstances. There will probably be, the mugshot is still up in the air. There will be handcuffs.
No, that I believe he's going to have to. He has to be processed the same way as
I'm hearing
everyone.
the mugshot is up in the air.
I think that would be wrong.
He will not spend any time.
He doesn't need, because there's no reason. On top of that, it creates all sort of security issues to have the former president, who, again, in the custody and care of Secret Service, to have his hands behind his back.
I'm told he won't spend any time behind bars. That he will definitely be fingerprinted.
Why would you say you mean when he's
because
in
of
the
the
holding
unusual?
there?
Yeah, he won't be in
and
in
by the way,
the holding.
By the way, Don, personally, I don't want to see him paraded that way.
Why
Remember, because he's a former president of the United States, because I actually care more about the office of the presidency of the United States than he does. I don't want to see this made into the laughingstock of the world. He was still a former president. I mean, these are the things that you see from other countries like Venezuela, right? I mean, you don't expect to see the former. This is a first time ever in the history of this country that a president, former president, has been indicted. This is unprecedented. And the more that we keep this, we'll call it classy, the better it is for our position in the world.
Well, on that personal note, Michael, obviously you know or knew Donald Trump very well, worked with them very closely for many years. What's he doing tonight, behind the scenes? How is he handling something like this tonight?
He's seething. And to the world, he wants to, again, appear to have this thick skin. He's not thick-skinned. Right? I think we've also saw that during the, the correspondence dinner. He is not thick-skinned. He's actually very thin-skinned, and he has a very fragile ego. This is his biggest fear, that he will be mugshotted, and that he's going to now have an F, a felony, next to his name. These are not things that Donald Trump ever thought in his entire life, nor I, for that matter, that he would ever be confronted with. He's seething right now because of all of the mistakes that so many people that were around him have made, from Jared all the way to Steve Bannon, Steve Miller, to this whole clown car of constituents that paraded around him. He's seething because all the advice that they gave now landed him here. And as we all know, Donald is not a person who likes to accept accountability. It has to be on somebody else, always. Unfortunately, he's the one that's going on Tuesday, right, in order to get fingerprinted and mugshotted.
If you want to know how this is going to happen, all you have to do is look at high-profile cases like this, especially Steve Bannon, the indictment of other high-profile individuals, for an example of what this is going to be like. Processed. While he's being processed, I noticed with Steve Bannon, while Steve Bannon was being processed, the district attorney was holding a press conference. Then the arraignment happened, and then the judge unsealed what the indictment was about. It was expedited, and that will probably happen with this president as well. Bragg's office will probably not ask the judge to unseal the indictment until the arraignment happens. You should know that because it happened with you. My question is...
Well, that didn't, because I never had that.
Okay. Do you feel vindicated?
No, this isn't an issue of vindication. I tried to explain that before.
Your book is called Revenge.
Yes, but it's is it revenge by him or revenge on me? How Donald Trump weaponized the United States Department of Justice against his critics. So it's a sort of a play on words. This isn't about vindication. This is about accountability. This is about the adage that no one is above the law. This is also about that whatever laws that sent me to prison should send him to prison. We're all supposed to be looked at in the eyes of the law the same, right? Lady Justice wears the blindfold. It's not supposed to matter, about your race, religion, creed, color, whether you're a former president or not. If you break the law, you have to be held accountable.
Are you worried or nervous about your safety?
I don't really think about that, to be honest with you. At this point in time, I'm here in New York. We have the greatest, and that's one of the questions that a journalist had asked me today, how I think this is going to play out in terms of similarities to January 6th, if he's going to call, as he did, for protests and violence, and that's just Donald Trump. Don't play with the New York Police Department. I mean, we have the finest in the world.
But I mean you, not just the New York police, not just the violence that could possibly happen on the street. We hope it doesn't happen. Every New York City police officer has to report for duty. As you said, New York City police, they don't play law enforcement here, but for your own personal safety.
Look, I worry for my safety every single day, whether it was, during this indictment, post the indictment, or even pre-indictment. So, I'm not changing anything in terms of my life or my routine as a result of this, no.
Michael, have you let yourself imagine what it would be like to testify against Donald Trump? With him there?
I'm not concerned about it. I have continuously told the same story. I've been shouting for 5 years from the rooftop the lies by the Southern District of New York against me for the tax evasion. I actually hope it comes out. I have all the documents to show there was no tax evasion. I've never in my life tax evaded. I've never filed a late tax return. I've never been audited. I've never received, letters from the IRS. I never had an opportunity to go in to meet with an agent, and none of this is accurate.
No, you have been telling the same truth, the same story to us, certainly when we've interviewed you. But I mean, looking at Donald Trump in the face.
Oh, I have no problem with that because I am standing as truth to power. This has kind of been, if you think about it, over the 5 years, it's like a David and Goliath sort of scenario, right? It's very biblical if you think about it. And at the end of the day, yes, I am the smaller guy. I am the David, but somehow or another, Goliath is on his back.
কর্পূর গৌরা করুণা অবতার সংসার সার ভুজগীন্দ্র মহর সদা বসনিতু হৃদয়া অরবিন্দে ভবম ভবামি সহিত নমামি ভবম ভবামি সহিত নমামি রবিক্ষয় হধামাজে দেবদ্রিলু সনয়ারে হাতে হুল ধরি সলে বিক্ষোভ ধরি সলে বিক্ষোভ কতক্ষণে পাইলা গো হভার ভিতরে রাম হরি রাম হরি বুলাদির তর রাম হরি রাম হরি বুলাদির তর
গিরি মল্লিকার নন্দারিক সৃষ্টি এই কৈলাস ভূমি আমার এই নিবাসস্থলী পার্বতী হবে আমি শংকৰে মহা সুখেৰে ইয়াতে কৰিছো বসতি ভকত বৎসল শংকৰামী ভক্তৰে আকুল আহ্বানতে নামি আহি কৈলাসৰ পৰা পূৰণ কৰো ভক্তগণৰ সত মনোবাঞ্ছা মন কিন্তু যেতিয়াই অধৰ্মৰ কাল বিভীষিকাই গ্ৰাস কৰে এই বিনন্দীয় সৃষ্টি মুহূৰ্ততে পৰিহৰি সমৰূপে ৰুদ্ৰ ৰূপে মই পাপী গণক কৰো বিনাশ এয়াই কৰ্ম আমাৰ ধৰ্ম বাৰু যাওঁ এতিয়া মই পৰৱৰ্তী কৰ্মতে হওঁ অগ্ৰসৰ